What if I told you that there are 9 remote jobs that pay really well, are always hiring and have zero competition? If this sounds too good to be true, well, because it is. It is too good to be true because there is a catch, which is these jobs are boring. The work could be so monotonous that most people don't even consider applying for them. But if you can handle the repetition, you could be making 70k, 100k, or even 150k a year right from home. Let me tell you the names. Number 9, WordPress support technician. Have you ever wondered who fixes websites when they randomly crash at 3 a.m.? Well, that could be you. Businesses rely on their websites to run smoothly. And when things break, because trust me, they always do, someone has to step in and save the day. This job is basically tech support for websites, specifically WordPress. If you don't know, WordPress powers almost half of the internet, which means businesses, bloggers, and online stores always need help fixing site issues, updating plugins, or solving wide glitches. The best part is that you don't need a computer science degree for this. You just need to learn WordPress, get familiar with basic coding, and just like that, you are in. Yes, and the pay is around $42k to $63k to sit at home and troubleshoot websites. Now, I know I am obligated to tell you, so here it is. There's only one downside to this job. It can get stressful when a client site is broken and they are freaking out. But if you can keep cool, this is one of the easiest ways to get into remote work. Number 8, database administrator. The next great option is to become a database administrator. This one is for the people who like being left on their own because this job will let you work in peace with no interference. Let me tell you what exactly this job is about. Every company has to store their data somewhere. Customer records, financial reports, internal documents, they all have to be organized, secured, and managed. So all of these things are saved and organized by database administrator. Basically, this person keeps databases running, makes sure they are protected from hackers, and fixes any issues that pop up. Now, there's a reason why this job is always hiring. Companies cannot function without databases, and with all the cybersecurity threats out there, businesses are desperate for people who can keep their information safe. If we talk about pay rate, entry-level salaries start around $70k, and with experience, you can be making well over $120k a year. And yes, fully remote from the comfort of your home. The only catch here is that it is a bit technical. You will need to learn database management system like SQL, but don't worry, there are plenty of online courses that can teach you everything you need. If you like structured work, problem solving, and job security, this is one of the highest paying remote careers you can get into without a degree. Number 7, funeral sales specialist. The next high paying job you can opt for is funeral sales specialist. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is a really awkward job. But hear me out, this job is recession proof because, well, people always need funerals and someone has to help families plan ahead so they don't get stuck with a would-be when the time comes. Let me tell you what you have to do in this job, and in a few minutes, you'll be convinced to apply. First, you work remotely, either for a funeral home or an insurance company. You help people pre-arrange funeral services. Some people actually want to take care of this in advance so their families don't have to worry about it later. Now, what makes this job a good option is the commission. You start around $54k, but with commissions, you can hit $120k or more just by being compassionate and helping families. There's only one downside here, and I think you already know what it is. It is not an easy conversion to have with people. You need to be empathetic, not pushing, and honestly, a lot of people will avoid the topic altogether. But if you can undo that, this job has a very little competition, and the money is really good. But if you still want to look at other options, you can always become an actuary analyst. Now, what is that? Number 6. Actuary analyst. This is basically predicting financial disasters before they happen. Actuary analyst works mostly in insurance and finance and use math and data to calculate risk. Let me ask you this. How do you think insurance companies decide how much to charge you for car insurance? or how businesses prepare for financial losses. That is what actuaries do. They look at historical data, run a bunch of calculations, and help companies avoid losing money. If this sounds complicated, it is because it is. You will need to be good with numbers, but the payoff is insane. Entry-level job starts at $95,000, and with experience, you can make over $150,000 a year. But before you jump on this option, let's go over a few more first. Number 5, data taxonomy specialist. You can also apply to become a data taxonomy specialist. In simple words, a data taxonomy specialist is a person who organizes huge amounts of information so companies can find what they need when they need it. Think about it. Big businesses collect millions of data points every day. But data is useless if it is a disorganized mess. That is where these jobs comes in. You create categories, labels, and structures to keep everything organized and searchable. The job itself is super quiet, super repetitive, and super well paid. You start at around $77,000, and with experience, you can be making more than $130,000. Now, let's be real. This job is not for everyone. If you love organizing, categorizing, and structuring information, you will probably love this. But if that sounds overwhelming, you might want to pass. But don't worry, I have a few more options for you. But before I tell you about this, take a moment to subscribe to my channel for more amazing tips to make money while sitting at home. I'll be coming back with more. Alright, let me tell you about another incredibly boring job that pays surprisingly well. Number 4, user manual writer. The last thing anyone wants to read is an instruction manual, right? They are super boring and so long. Now imagine how boring it must be for the person who writes them. But if I tell you they are being paid $50,000 to $75,000 a year for it, yes, this job won't seem so dreadful to you after all, right? You can also become a user manual writer. If you take this job, all you have to do is to take complicated information and make it so simple that anyone can understand it. A lot of these jobs involves talking to engineers or developers and turning their jargon into plain English. You will be writing step-by-step guides, troubleshooting sections, and maybe even FAQs. Sometimes, you will have to test the instruction yourself to make sure they actually make sense. So if you like writing, this is an easy way to make over $50,000 a year from home. Number 3, statistics validator. You might already know that companies run surveys, right? Studies and reports all the time. But the thing is, they need someone to verify that the data is actually correct before they publish anything. This is the job of a statistics validator. If you apply for this job, you will have to review research data, check how studies were conducted, and confirm that companies are not just making up statistics to look good. This job is always in demand because one wrong statistics in an ad campaign could lead to lawsuits. Companies take that risk seriously, so they need someone to double-check their numbers before anything goes public. But if you like writing more than proofreading, I have another option for you. Number 2, documentation writer. I am talking about becoming a documentation writer. This is similar to the user manual writer, but instead of writing for customers, you write for employees inside the company. Big companies have tons of internal processes, like how to train employees, how to handle customer complaints, how to use company software, and someone needs to document all of it. That is what a documentation writer does. Most of the time will be spent on creating process guides, writing company policies, and structuring internal information so employees know exactly what to do. You will also have to interview employees to understand how things work, and then organize everything in a way that makes sense. The biggest downside is that it involves a lot of meetings to gather information, and the work itself can be tedious. But if you love organizing and structuring information, this job pays $70,000 to $120,000 and is fully remote. So it's a great option. Finally, you can always become a lead management coordinator. So what's that? Number 1, lead management coordinator. You see, sales teams get tons of potential leads, but someone has to track and manage them so they don't fall through the cracks. That is the role of a lead management coordinator. When new leads come in, it is your job to organize them, make sure they are assigned to the right sales reps, and track follow-ups so no opportunities are missed. You will also be updating the CRM system to make sure customers' details are recorded properly. And sometimes you might even need to check in with leads yourself. Businesses are desperate for people to do this job because every missed lead leads to lost revenue. Sales teams don't always have time to keep track of everything, so companies need someone who can handle it for them. So, if you're good at keeping track of details and making sure things get done, this remote job pays $50K to $85K a year. And the best part is that it does not require any special degree or experience to get started. Which one of these 9 jobs sound the least boring to you? Let me know and maybe I will help you more with that option. Just drop a comment below. If you are looking for more ways to make money online, check the description below for my Stand Store link. Whether you want to work from home full-time or just make extra income on the side, you will find something useful there. I'll see you in the next video. You're welcome.